So this is a collage of different clips I've been putting together for a while in my backyard, and I would see clips on the news and they would kind of flow together, pardon the pun, and I think there's something here, something bigger, because I live about an hour and a half north of these fires, and my ground did not burn, but my ground, my dirt, does some funky stuff, as you will see. Anybody see this before? What is that? What's going on in the sand? Weird. See what we can get over here. Once again, weird. Very strange. Why would it do that? Why would it ball up the top layer? Have it all stick to itself and leave a dry layer on the stuff that's been exposed for a long time when it's just regular sand, and it should do what the other sand does around it. It's just fucking weird. Very peculiar. Now this is something you would expect sand to do when you get it a little bit wet. Now we're back to what's not supposed to happen to sand. Why is that doing that?
Get out of here! Go! Oh my God, Mom!
This reminds me of
Once again.
Now this looks like what you have in the next clip. The figure. Now, I'm not a smart man, but this is weird. And there's no such thing as coincidences.
Last video shows fast-moving mud flows through the canyons and hills barren after the Holy Fire in Riverside County.
Why would it do that? Why would it ball up the top layer? Have it all stick to itself and leave a dry layer on the stuff that's been exposed for a long time when it's just regular sand, and it should do what the other sand does around it. It's just fucking weird. Very peculiar.
The deluge overwhelmed the nearby hills that had been burned bare of vegetation just weeks ago by the largest wildfire in California's history. Soon, fast-moving mud flows carrying large boulders tore through the wealthy neighborhood of 9,000. They had been ordered to evacuate, but many refused or left too late. Ann Cruz from the Santa Barbara County Fire Department pulled a 14-year-old girl from her destroyed home in Montecito on Tuesday. She had been trapped there for hours. The storm also triggered mud flows and flash flooding across parts of nearby Los Angeles and Ventura counties this week, submerging highways and cars. Officials say there's no telling how long the region's recovery will take as crews try to clear away mud and debris.
Very strange.
I'm on Highway 192, which was that dividing line between the voluntary and the mandatory evacuation. It's just on the outskirts of the mud zone, and there's just a ton of activity going on here, including some military helicopters overhead.
And what is it, Sharon, about this mud that is making it so difficult to remove?
When you get a heavy rain on burned soil, the lower layer bakes hard, and all the topsoil on top of it gets all this water.
Very strange.
In it, and that makes it slow down. It also makes it sit as a very viscous, watery layer, and it's like the sort of mud that will just suck the boots right off your feet.
To put a pretty bow on this, I'm going to say it's geoengineering by the government. The metals in the nanoparticles are bonding with the soils, creating a barrier where the water is unable to penetrate and becomes viscous slurry at the top, creating mudslides. And the metals are also becoming highly combustible during the fires and creating an even more hazardous situation. So there you go.
Other organic dust can be explosive too, such as biosolids along with non-organic dust like metal dust, coal, and even plastic dust. Sam points out that Greg has tons of wood dust built up in their factory. Combustible wood dust has a mass median size of 500 microns or smaller, about the size of table salt, and only a little dust can cause an explosion. Even if the dust appears to be wet or larger than 500 microns, it can still be a hazard because characteristics of wood can change over time. Wet dust can dry and large particles can be broken down. Greg wonders why dust is such a highly combustible hazard. Sam explains that fuel, in this case the combustible dust, along with oxygen and a source of ignition can cause a fire. When dust is in a confined area and dispersed within the oxygen and then ignited, it creates the dust explosion pentagon. When piles of dust accumulate, a small explosion can spark a chain of massive explosions in a matter of seconds. The initial deflagration or ignition causes elastic rebound shock waves causing dust clouds. These dust clouds initiate a secondary deflagration that propagates.
Please investigate, look into it, see what you think. Let me know in the comments. And share this if you'd like. Like the content, make it so on notifications for the next adventure. Please hit the bell. Have a good day. Be a good patriot. Take care.